Hey everybody, I'm with Jill Bullock, and she is the owner and operator of Jill Bullock Holistic Yoga and Wellness at Quant's Hot Yoga, which is located at University Narcola in Regina. Jill, thanks so much for hopping on this interview with me and showing everybody what you offer to our community. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm honored.
Thank you. Jill and I have known each other for years and years, and so I really have been a huge fan of what you bring into the community, and I really respect your work. So, Jill, why don't you tell everybody what it is that you do? What is your passion? Just give us an overview of what you're doing these days.
Well, I do reflexology. I teach yoga. I just incorporated Thai yoga massage into my business as well. So basically, my passion is to help people relax and slow down and get out of their stress for however long they're booked in for. It's such a huge problem right now. People living in their stress and not even realizing how stressed out they are until they come in and actually relax for an hour and, and they go, "Oh, this is what it feels like." So I mean, I kind of came about it through my own experience as well. Everybody has stress, right? Anxiety, whatever. I have my own battles with it still, but I practice everything I do. So my biggest passion is to help because I know how well it helps and I know it's helped me. So I just like to pass it on to other people. The things that I'm learning, I'll pass on in yoga classes or, even, to clients that come in if I taken a new supplement that helps with something, so whatever I learn, I feel very passionate about sharing that because it's such a problem these days, especially now with everything that's going on. Like everybody has that level of anxiety and stress right now. So I'd love to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
noticed there's so many times where folks don't actually know that they're stressed or anxious? Would you agree with that?
100%.
And so, what are some things for folks to look out for so that they can actually, find the markers within themselves to go, oh, I'm actually, getting in the red
Yeah.
zone?
Yeah. Biggest thing to stop throughout your day and just tune into your breathing. Because a lot of times when you're stressed out and you're running around, you're doing it, no one's thinking about their breathing. Like the breath is the most important part of life, really. Like, I mean, there's the heartbeat too, is fairly important, but breath, it calms the nervous system, it calms the brain, it switches you right into that parasympathetic to help the body heal. So if you can stop throughout the day and just say, how am I breathing? A lot of times it's shallow and chesty when you're really stressed. So if you can take a few deep breaths, just belly breaths, breathe into the belly, into the lungs, and then let it go. Like do that 3 times. And just at that point, notice how different you feel after doing that 3 times. There's no way you can breathe deep and be chaotic in the mind because there's a connection between the two. So if you can just slow down, find a quiet time in your office or wherever you are, even in the car at a red light, just stop and go, what's going on inward, because we're so externally focused. So it's always good to bring that energy, that awareness back into you. And the breath is so, so good for doing that. And again, present moment. You want to be present in the moment because a lot of us living in a bad future that hasn't happened yet, but that's where we go. We always go to a bad future. We never think of a good one. So then it stresses us out. And the body doesn't know if it's real or perceived stress. It just reacts to your thoughts. So if you can, hone that in whenever you have a quiet moment or make few quiet moments within the day, that's so helpful. Yeah. Breathe deep.
I remember for me, when someone told me to belly breathe, I was like, huh? I don't know what that actually means.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so one of the things that, I don't know if it was in one of your yoga classes, but I think it might have been you, to put my hand on my belly and actually allow my hand to rise and fall.
Yep.
To just
even pay attention. Yeah, when you're breathing, you breathe into the belly rises, then the chest rises, then the chest will fall and the belly falls. So it's like a circular motion almost. So if you can kind of focus in on that and just feel it go all the way down and then all the way out. Yeah, absolutely. Hand on the belly, hand on the chest, just feel the body move. Like a lot of times people don't even realize the whole rib cage is supposed to move when you breathe. And it doesn't, because we have such quick shallow breaths up in the chest area, right? Like, So when you breathe, your whole rib cage expands. So we even try and focus to send it back into the back body too. Just really fill up completely. And then even force it out the mouth. So in through the nose and out the mouth. You just let more go and you just feel the body start to release. Yeah. It's quite amazing how people don't even know how to breathe.
Correct.
I will help them in a reflexology, because at the end of a treatment, I always make them do 3 deep breaths. And I'll watch them and I'm like, okay. You know, sometimes I'm like, we better teach how to breathe, like, and not in a judgment sort of way, but just once they get it, then they're like, oh my God, you know, it's
So
it's
Jill,
just aware.
why don't you take us through that right now? Why don't you actually just allow us to actually follow you with some instruction?
You want to do a breathing exercise?
Yeah.
Sure. We can do a 3-level breath. We'll do that. So you can just sit with your hands wherever, or on your hand, on your belly, on your chest, whatever works. But we'll do what's called a 3-level breath. So we'll do 1 deep breath in together. So breathe in through the nose, breathe all the way down deep into the belly. And again, breathe in so the whole backside of the body expands. And then open the mouth, sigh it out. Just let it all go, every last drop. Now keeping the eyes closed, close the mouth, breathe in through the nose and pause at the belly button. Now breathe in through the nose a little bit more and pause at the rib cage. And then breathe all the way into the base of the neck, all the way to the top of the breath, and pause there. Now open the mouth and let that breath go completely. Sigh it out, let it go. Yeah. Do you want to do 2 more rounds? So breathe in through the nose, the belly button, and pause. And breathe into the lower ribs and pause there. And then breathe all the way into the base of the neck, really fill up to the top of that breath. And then open the mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Feel your shoulders even come down a little bit more. Good. Now keeping that mouth closed, breathe in through the nose again to the belly button and pause. And then breathe into the lower ribs and pause there. And then breathe all the way in, all the way to the top of the breath, right to the base of the neck. Breathe in. And then open the mouth and sigh it out. Even make noise if you have to. Good. And then just let that breath come back to normal and start to wave in and out through the nose. And then just come back in.
Thank you for that.
You are so very welcome.
Yeah.
So things like that, that's a tool right there.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, because for so many of us, we're not breathing and we're running around and letting, you know, so many things go through the mind and not breathing. So for those of you that are watching this, if you did not actually play along, just go back and actually play along. So we really want you to get this breath so that you have a good tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Just try it. It's just, that's all we ask.
Yeah.
Just once, even run 1 round through, and like, you get addicted to it. You know, the more you become aware of it and the more you realize how great you feel after you do it, you start to actually stop in your car and go, oof, you know, and it just feels so good. Like, so it is addicting after a while.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, you had mentioned that you had your own anxiety and your own stress within your life. And so what really brought you here? What's your passion for doing this work? You said that you love to help people and teach people. You had your own stress and anxiety, but is there anything else, like, you know, what really brought you to this point?
You know what, throughout the years, like my background is dental assisting. I worked for an orthodontist for many years, like with kids' braces and headgear and all the rest. But I just wanted more. I mean, it was a great job, but it just, for me, I started dabbling in things. Like I said, I took my Reiki, and I took a few different workshops and different energies work and like theta healing and different things like that. And I loved it. And raindrop therapy, just with some of the essential oils. So I kind of started dabbling, and I've always been about holistic anything. To me, it's about looking more at the bigger picture than just focusing on high blood pressure. Okay, well, why is it high? Like, to me, I always asked why. So I had a girlfriend, like, this is how I came about reflexology. Reflexology was the first thing that made me go, I need to do this for people. I had a girlfriend who was trying to get pregnant, and they were having a hell of a time, and she was in the medical system, and they were starting her period, stopping her period. She was like, she just felt sick all the time. And I'm like, have you thought about doing something natural? Like, and that was her next thing was, maybe a naturopath and going in that route. And then I didn't see her after that conversation for a couple months, and I ran into her again, and she was pregnant. And I'm like, amazing. What did you do? And she said, reflexology. And I'm like, get out of here. Reflexology has been around for 5,000 years. You've heard of it. I didn't really know much about it, but it really piqued my curiosity. And basically what she told me, and of course now I know way more about, is that she was too stressed. Her body wouldn't let her get pregnant. And I mean, now I know so much more about the stress response and all the rest that I understand now why. But at the time I was just like, wow. So anyways, I thought, I wonder, I bought a book like you do, read about it. And then I kind of thought, I wonder how, you'd take training or where you take training. Well, sure enough, there's a national association, and there was a few ladies in the city that taught it. So I reached out to one of them and talked to her, and it was kind of humming and hawing. And it was at my sister's house. And this is funny, she probably doesn't even know this, but my oldest nephew was talking. He was probably around 16 at the time. And she was bugging about doing his homework. And she turns to him and she's like, knowledge is power, buddy. Knowledge is power. And I just kind of went, you know what, you're right. Why not? I'll just take the course. So I signed up after that. And I thought, even if I do it with friends, family, or just learn and whatever. And I took the course, the theory part of it. And once I started into the practical portion, like we had a big, long, had to do a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of time. So you could really see the benefit and all the rest. And I was floored, like the way it helped certain people. A girlfriend was going through, she had kidney stone problems, and it helped her shift some things there. And just even the stuff that showed up for people, like on the feet, well, I can't think of anything right now, but even just like muscle tension in the neck or shoulders, or, or like, are you having a shoulder problem? They're like, well, yeah, like, so just different things like that. I was absolutely fascinated. And I just kept thinking, I have to do this for people. And just, again, that state of relaxation that they got to, it was just a different level than anything. So it was pretty neat. And it was so great how it all transitioned. It was just such an easy flow. My one boss was amazing with that. And then I work out of Kwan's Hot Yoga, but I started going to take classes there just as a student right when they first opened. I was so excited about the hot yoga because it's fantastic. And after going there for a while, Tim says to me, have you ever thought about teaching? And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? There was just no way. But as soon as he said it, there was something in my gut that went, you need to do that. And I was just like, no way, this was going not a chance. And the more I sat with it, the more I just came home and I went, no, I have to. And again, the first night, it was a Friday night after work. I started teaching. I went home Friday night. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I can't do this. And now look, 4 years later, I'm teaching yoga, and it all fits together. Like it's all about the breathing and the relaxation and the just balancing the body. And once you can balance the mind, the breath, everything falls into place, so it just fits. So anyways, yeah, that's my long-winded story of how I got going and keep going. It's, and then I just recently started the Thai massage, and again, it fits in too. It's, yeah. So I tell people that if you're tired of me listening, or are you tired of listening to me boss you around in class, just come and I'll do it for you. But
and
yeah.
So tell our listeners how is Thai massage different?
Okay, so they call Thai yoga massage. It's basically assisted stretching. So I'll put you into a yoga posture and just kind of guide you into it. So you get a deeper stretch. You get to relax more into the stretch. You can breathe and just release. So I can push you in a little bit deeper, and it just gives you such a deeper stretch. It's so relaxing. There's also pressure points, like with thumb, maybe forearm, palms. So there's pressure points. You work the energy lines of the body. So it's just a different experience than a massage, because you're literally stretched and lengthened, and it's not better or worse. It's just different. And if you got low back problems, or even if you aren't interested in doing yoga, like these poses are pretty fantastic. Like just the different positions. People sit in a chair all day. Like the body's built to move. If you don't use it, you lose it. So, and people start to atrophy and they don't realize it. Like there's people that don't ever lift their hands over their head, you know, like so their shoulders are all, so it's interesting that way. It starts to loosen up the body and just relieve the tension and the stress because the body hangs on to all that, right? It's tension, stress, trauma, what, you know, whatever you've gone through, if you don't deal with it, it's held in the body. So Thai massage can be very releasing too. Like you can have some, I don't know if you want to say like emotions can come up after too, because again, like I said, it's stored in the tissues of the body. So yeah. Anyway, so that's why it's different than yoga.
Well, I have to say a huge shout out to Thai yoga massage. It is something that my body personally absolutely yearns for. Because I
Yeah,
think
it's
one
so
of the
good.
things too is that it's the quality of being touched, held, seen, felt,
Yep.
heard, all of the things. Like, so when, you know, just moving into those areas and having somebody assist and
Yeah.
hold, it's just so lovely. So thank you
Yeah.
for that
No,
kind
thank
of
you.
work
Yeah.
that you
Oh
do.
yeah. It's supportive because you're supported, you know, like me doing it to someone, that person is feeling supported because I'm helping, you know, guiding them. And I mean, that's at least how I feel when I have time massage. Like it's just a neat, yeah. So yeah, no, that's good. That's
Beautiful.
great.
So
Hmm.
people want to come to you. How do they know what to go to? How do they know if they want reflexology or Thai yoga massage or some energy work? How do they know?
I think everybody knows what they need. It's what calls them. But at the same time, if they have questions, they can email me or phone me or even shoot me a text, whatever. But Thai massage too for some people. Like I'm right in there. Like if you have body or personal space issues, it's probably not for you. But I don't know. Start somewhere. Start like I can't even answer that. Everybody's so different. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
So
But I
true.
think I would probably ask them where they are with comfort levels and stuff too, and just what's going on. And sometimes if somebody has a lot of anxiety, probably reflexology would be a better place to start because it's a little less invasive. It's a little less, you know, you're just laying on a table and I'm at your feet. So it's a little more, they can stay kind of inward, but yeah, it just depends on the person. Yeah.
Beautiful. And so
Yeah.
how can people get a hold of you, Jill?
Well, I have a website. It's jillbullock.ca. You can email me right from the website, or it's jill@jillbullock.ca. You can, again, phone, text. My cell phone is 306-539-3954. So you can get a hold of me that way too. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has anytime. Yeah.
So thanks so much for taking the time today, Jill. And thank you for that breathing practice. That is so huge.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is worth its weight in gold. So thank you
My
so much.
pleasure.